Well, good afternoon. Trucker Todd here, and time for a really late Monday video that should have been out several hours ago. Alright folks, the demographics of this channel has always been kind of in that 25 to 55 range according to the analytics, and most of the people that have watched this channel have either been really experienced drivers or and really smart people, by the way, or we've had even some other countries that have watched that have inquired about maybe getting their CDL and coming to the United States. But recently we've started having a lot of people that we've started having two types of people. We've had a lot of critics on here that's called me everything but a human being and told me how dumb I was and all of that. We just kind of ignore those people. That's going to happen. And the other thing we've got is a lot of new people to the industry. Guys that maybe are considering going to truck driving school, maybe guys that have just completed truck driving school, and they're looking for that first trucking company. So some of the questions I've been getting lately is, hey Todd, what should I expect in truck driving school? After I get out of truck driving school, what should I expect? And things like that. So I'm going to try to cover some of these things in this video. Before we do, give this video a thumbs up, share it on your social media platforms. If you've got questions, you're probably not the only one. There's probably other people that have the exact same question they're afraid to ask. So leave a comment below. Tell me your questions, concerns. While you're down there in the comments, I'll pin the information to how to get a hold of Swift if you'd like to know more about their schools or about coming to work here, maybe if you're an experienced driver. Michelle is currently on vacation, so I'll put the information for Ramona down there. Give her a call, tell her you've been watching Trucker Todd, and she'll be glad to help you out. And so that's what's going on around here. Let's not waste any more time. Let's cue up the music and jump into it. Here we go.
And this is why I do this, why I'm out here, why I keep that hammer down, flying by these road signs with home on my mind, with these wheels turning round, for my family and for my kids, for this life I wanna live. And this is why I do this.
Alrighty, we're back. You know, I've been dreading kind of doing this video because it's going to sound like a lot of what I'm saying is trying to talk you out of becoming a truck driver. And I'm not trying to do that at all. For certain people, this is a great job. For certain people, it's a great lifestyle. And you can certainly make a lot of money and take good care of your family. However, I am trying to set your expectations realistically. When guys have been out here 3 months and they call me and say, I thought I'd be making $4,000 a week take home. Well, folks, that's over $200,000 a year. If you think that, that's not a realistic expectation. So in this video, I'm going to try to help you kind of set realistic expectations and know what's coming your way, hopefully before it hits you, and maybe you can adjust and prepare for it. So, you've decided you might want to be a truck driver. Let's start there. You're looking at all these schools and you're trying to decide where to go. If it were me personally, I would read a lot of reviews online. I can't really give you recommendations for schools because they're all over the country and there's no way I could critique every one of them, especially since I'm not in need of a truck driving school now. The one at Swift, for the most part, I get pretty good reviews on it. People tell me pretty good things about it. Occasionally I'll get a guy that didn't get the experience he wanted, but I think that's going to be true at any school. Don't be swayed by gimmicks that schools offer you, like, well, we'll help you find a job. The jobs are out there. They'll all help you find a job. You know, study, look at what you're going to learn, and none of these schools are going to be great. What do I mean by that? Well, they're going to get you just enough education to get your CDL. You're going to have to study. There's a lot to learn, and you're going to leave there confident, feeling like you know everything, and then you're going to get out here and find you don't know near as much as you think you do. And even after 25 years of driving, I find there's still a lot of things I don't know, and I have to call people and ask questions and do research. It's a process, not a destination, and you have to keep that in mind. Also, oftentimes at these truck driving schools, recruiters will show up, and they're going to paint this beautiful picture of the trucking world. Don't be swayed by a company that brings you pizza just because they brought you a really good pizza. Don't be swayed by things like that. Do look at things like tuition reimbursement and things like that, and do read a lot of reviews online. When I started, the internet wasn't a thing like it is now, and I mean, it was around in '96, but not to the degree it is now. And the reviews and the information that we have now wasn't out there. Also, don't rely solely on reviews. Try to read 10 good and 10 bad, and figure the truth is somewhere in the middle. And so learn about, there's more than just driving a truck. Learn about pre-trip and post-tripping. Learn about logbooks and trip planning and things like that. Load securement if you're doing flatbed. Make sure that if you have any questions about that. You know, I got to my last day of training, and I had a great trainer, and he never showed me how to chain up. And I said, hey, can you show me how to chain up? And so he quickly showed me, and that was my training on chains. But back in those days, if you stopped to chain, guys would pull over to chain their trucks, and if you asked them for help or advice, they'd help you. I don't know if you'd have that kind of luck these days. Also, I want you to think about this. You're going to be going out with a trainer, and the next video is going to be for trainers, and I'm going to talk specifically to trainers. You're going to try to impress him, even though you think you won't. Don't do it. Drive within yourself. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I don't care if you've been driving 15 minutes. If you're tired, pull that truck over and say, I can't go. You reckon falling asleep, killing yourself or killing somebody else doesn't help anybody. Same thing with pre-trip and post-trip. Your trainer's probably going to make you do one. When you get your own truck, you're going to be tempted not to do one. Folks, that's your safety right there. Forget about DOT violations. And if you're going to break down somewhere, it's a lot better to break down when you know it's coming. At a truck stop, you know, if you need a belt or something, it's better to break down there than it is on the side of the road waiting 4 or 5 hours for a repair truck to show up. Or worse, getting shut down in a scale and getting tons of points, your company mad at you, and everybody just kind of taking advantage of you. So do those little things, and I'll give you another one. And I don't want this to be a safety video. You're going to get safety hammered in your head, and you don't need me to do that. But when you're backing into a spot, make sure you can back into that spot. If you have to get out and look 5 times, so what if everybody's getting mad at you, shooting you obscene gestures? Don't take somebody's mirror off or tear somebody's hood up and mess up your driving record just because you want to look like Billy Big Rigger out here. So don't do that. And now let's talk about some other things. A lot of people think this is going to be a cakewalk. Your first year is probably going to be rough. Dispatchers are going to try to get you to do stuff you shouldn't do or wouldn't do. They're going to take advantage of you. You've got to have a backbone and know when to say no, and you know when something's not right. Don't put yourself at risk. Look, the most valuable thing you're going to have is that CDL with a clean record. Don't blow it by doing something foolish trying to impress your dispatcher or your trainer. Think about what you're doing. And so those are some main things I want to concentrate on. You're going to see a lot of country. You're going to have good weeks, bad weeks, and things like that. The other thing I really want to harp on, and this is going to surprise a lot of you guys, do not be in a hurry to do a lease purchase. Some of these companies, straight out of training, are going to say, hey, you want to lease a truck? Don't do it. Remember what I said earlier in the video about you don't know what you don't know? Well, that is definitely true in this case. Wait till you have at least 2 years experience. Nobody takes my advice on that. But at the bare minimum, wait till you have at least 18 months. Learn about freight lanes. Learn about the business, how things are done, where to fuel, where not to fuel. You've got so much to learn. Routing, trip planning. Wait till you have a grasp of what you're doing before you overwhelm yourself and are almost destined to fail. Look, if you were going to fight Mike Tyson in his prime, would you want a month's worth of training or 2 years worth of training? And that's what I'm saying. You might still lose the fight, but you're going to have a lot better chance the more training you get. And so guys are, they call me. I had one call a recruiter the other day. He said, I want to lease a truck and I've got a lot of experience. And she's like, oh, great. Tell me about your experience. What have you done? How long have you been driving? He said, I've got 4 months in and I'm currently training a student. Now, this wasn't for Swift. This was another recruiter I talked to. And this guy thought 4 months was a lot of training. Folks, he didn't know what he didn't know. I wouldn't have rode with me at 4 months. And I certainly, as a trainer, wouldn't slept in the back while I drove with me having 4 months experience. That's just dangerous. We're going to talk about that on Wednesday. But yeah, you guys take your time, enjoy it, learn what there is to learn out here, and you're going to be all right. It's going to get frustrating. You're going to question why you did this at times. At times you're going to want to quit. At times you're going to want to give up. But hang in there, and it'll be worth it. The final thing I want to say about this is, make sure if you're married, got a girlfriend, or whatever your situation is, that you've got a supportive family back home. This is a tough business to be in, and it's even tougher if your family doesn't support you. So I hope this brought some clarity. If you've got some questions, look in the description, get my email me, or leave a comment below. I try to respond to everybody. Otherwise, I just want you guys to have a great day. And we'll see you Wednesday where we're going to talk about trainers. Have a good one. Bye-bye.